It's been a while since I took the bus. The last time I rode, I sat near the back door. I remember an elderly man started pointing his finger at me. He yelled something like, "Go back to your country. You don't belong here. You should be responsible for this pandemic." I couldn't say anything because I was shocked, I was scared, and I felt powerless. I've been asking myself why. It's been on my mind a lot lately, like, what did I do?
One evening, Khoi Nguyen was on his way to pick up groceries. He caught a bus, and on his way, he went through something he's never experienced before. An elderly man stared and pointed at him, blaming him for the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
I was really scared that I wait until the bus driver stopped at the next bus stop. I got off the bus right away. I felt at first very angry, and I was really shocked and mostly scared because I've never experienced this before in my life. So I'm a bit scared, and I just don't know what to say.
Charmaine Tan felt similar feelings after what her landlord said.
In the beginning of our stay, it wasn't that obvious to us that we might have this kind of conflict between me, my friend, and her. We use this website called Horma Dorma. So they link international students up with people who stay, like local people who stay in Canada, and like they open up their houses for people to stay in the house. We wanted to do like a last meal with everyone. Then at 5, like an hour before we were supposed to meet, she was like, "Oh, actually, I don't think your friends can come to the house because," and she was like, most of your friends are like Chinese, right? Like, you know, like it's Corona, right? Like the thing now it's from China, right?" And when she said that, me and my friend lost it.
Khoi and Charmaine are some of the many who have faced anti-Asian racism during the ongoing pandemic. According to data from the Canadian Chinese National Council Toronto chapter, Canada recorded more anti-Asian racism reports per capita than the US. Victoria Young, a coordinator with the group's social justice sector, collaborates with the group.
Released a report at the end of summer, and I think at that time there was about 600 incident reports across the country, and they did find that most of the attacks were happening in Vancouver. So it's a significantly high number.
British Columbia reported the most incidents out of any region in North America. In Vancouver, a 92-year-old Asian man suffering from dementia became the victim of a racially fueled assault. Adrian Ma, a journalism professor at Ryerson University, recalls another incident at an Asian supermarket in Mississauga.
Famous events happened at the TNT grocery store where a worker there was, trying to tell a person,
where do we get our communist virus? From China, from you guys. Communist virus. The communists, where are you from?
So we are Canadian.
No, where are you from?
I'm Canadian.
I told you I have asthma.
And, that kind of stuff I was seeing happening everywhere.
As more and more incidents gained coverage, many within Asian communities became concerned. Catherine Kim, a psychotherapist based in Toronto, echoes these feelings.
I think because of what is shown on the news and on social media, I am so much more attuned to it. And so if I'm like walking around with my kids, for instance, who are also little Asian kids, and I see like somebody kind of like shy away from us, like one of my immediate things is this racism?
Adrian Ma also thinks about what his kids could go through.
As an Asian Canadian, and my kids are half Asian, it does cross my mind that, if some of this ill will towards the Asian community in Canada because of this, if any of it gets down to them, that just it just breaks my heart. It absolutely does, because any other Chinese Canadian here who was very little connection to like what actually happened and what, what brought the virus on. It's we're all in the same boat as everybody else.
So I don't know if like people are more paranoid around me because I'm Asian or because I'm a human.
I like to dress fairly well most of the time. I was subconsciously or whatever, I was spending even extra time making sure I was just looking on point and extra groomed, extra fresh, extra clean. And I was sitting on the subway and I was just kind of looking around and I'm like, I wonder how many people here are thinking that guy might have COVID because of what I look like. Yeah, this feeling of otherness and this feeling of being scrutinized. Whether or not people were actually doing it, I felt it.
Hateful rhetoric from high-profile politicians has not made things easier for people in Asian communities.
I was even more conscious that in America, it was even more tense because there were politicians that were openly discussing these conspiracy theories and also really putting blame on the Chinese for it, which kind of filtered into the general population as it often does. And you're reading about much more kind of violent events happening. People getting attacked. So it was all very nerve-wracking.
I really didn't want to mention Trump because I just didn't want to. But I think the impact of him, like how he would always call it the China virus, it impacted us here too. It impacted me.
We could do all the things we want to do in terms of policy and making sure that there's equitable hiring and accessibility and all that sort of stuff. But then you look on TV and you see the President of the United States going into a bunch of racist bullshit, and it just guts you, right? Because he's a very influential person. And it's just going to lead to another generation of really contentious politics, race politics.
After that incident, I kept thinking about that over and over again, and I just asked myself why I didn't do anything back then. Maybe I should have said something that. To inform that old man, or maybe to protect my own race, because he did say something awful about the Asian race. The fact that I kept myself silent is a way that I accept that kind of racism of him, and it was totally wrong. It was a very wrong idea to do it.
Racial trauma, like what Khoi went through, can lead someone to look for help. For some, that help can come in the form of therapy.
You know what? If this happens to me again, this is how I would like to handle that situation. I would like to call it out if I'm able to. But you know what? I don't know if I feel safe enough to call it out, because if I do call it out, then maybe I'll be fired. And I don't want to be fired because I need that money. I need that job. And so, kind of like dealing with the reality of the situation and also giving opportunity to voice the experience and to understand it better, and then hopefully be able to do something with it.
Although therapy isn't a solution, it can be a step in the right direction.
Will it change and eradicate systemic racism? No. I don't think the therapeutic process can do that, because it's bigger than that. It needs to be handled in so many different ways, like politically, socially, in a lot of different ways. But what therapy can do is it can help that individual or even that family or that couple have deeper understanding and hopefully come to some kind of resolution.
Spreading the conversation can also help the process.
So I think it's really good we're having these conversations. They're very difficult, but I think it's really important that we all work together to combat these issues, because we're able to shift the conversation, talk more about solidarity building. I think people are starting to, get a better understanding.
Although Khoi was reluctant to share his experience with those close to him, it was a return home to Vietnam that made all the difference.
I felt relief and really happy to see my family again and also my friends. I didn't really tell them the incident because I'm afraid that I might make them worry for me. So I just kept my story, and they were shocked like me. Other than that, they told me that it's just okay. It's just not everyone is as bad as that guy. So you just don't worry about that, and then just keep living, move on.
Back in Toronto, the Chinese-Canadian National Council for Social Justice continues to work with the city to combat anti-Asian racism. Their work led to the creation of Toronto for All, an initiative made to educate the public on how to confront racism. For Victoria, there's still a lot of work to be done, but steps like this allow for hope moving forward.
There's still lots of work to do. It's never a one-time event, but I think it really, brought these issues to the surface. I'm really hoping that we can all just wake up and see that the issue is the system itself and all work to rise and revolt. But, that's just a fantasy of mine. I think there's a long, long way to go, but things are moving in the right direction.
I feel motivated after I read news about Black Lives Matter campaigns and all that kind of protest that has been going on right now. And I feel like we as a part of Asian community should also do something to stop people into thinking negatively about Asian people. I think I'll just never stop. I'll never keep silent until everyone in this world considered equal.
For the Ryerson documentary unit, I'm Adrian Bueno.